Welcome to my journey through the Bible. This will be applications that we can apply to our life and a little more in depth about the chapter. We are in Exodus 9 1 through 35. Now we see this is the fifth time that God has sent Moses before Pharaoh. But Pharaoh was so stubborn and so full of his desires and his pride that he just couldn't see clearly. And it caused a lot of pain and heartache, not only for him, but for his people as well. And in life, we are going to face some difficult things, and we're going to maybe feel low. We're going to feel discouraged. But we still have to do the right thing. We still have to obey God. Don't become so overwhelmed with all your heartache and your problems that you forget to look to God for your answers. Perseverance does pay off. It is rewarded. And we see that God gave Pharaoh multiple chances to change his mind. And Pharaoh just refused. He refused to see the signs. He refused to admit that there was a God out there that was stronger than any of his gods. And if we keep resisting God like Pharaoh did, eventually there's going to be a time where we will no longer be able to hear God's voice. And that'll just be really sad. So we have to hold on to God no matter what happens, no matter what comes our way. And we have to know that God is able to change everything. So we also see that God allowed some of the plagues to help it happen to Israel as well as the Egyptians. But God will protect you just as He has protected them. And the difference between the Egyptians and the Israelites is that the Israelites listened to God. They listened to the warning signs. When God told them to get inside because they would be killed by the hail, they listened. The Egyptians did not always listen, and then they ended up dying. And as God's children, it's the same way. We have to listen to God. We have to listen to the warning signs. And sometimes we're going to see people that maybe they don't believe in God, and maybe they're not seeing the warning signs, or maybe they see them and they choose to ignore them. And we can go to them and we can try to tell them what is happening, and we can try to give them advice, and we can try to pray for them. Definitely pray for them always. But if their heart is truly hardened, then they're going to have to pay a heavy price for the choices that they have made. And also, we can't pretend. We can't pretend to obey God. Pharaoh said, "Stop all these plagues, stop the hail, stop the thundering, and I'll let your people go." And at the end of each one of the plagues, he refused. And Moses even calls him out. He says, "I know you don't fear God. I know you're not going to let my people go. But I'm still going to pray to God. I'm going to pray that this plague stops." And we cannot pretend to be holy at church and around our church family, and then go out to our workplaces and be like everybody else. We have to be the same when we go out into the world as the same that we are at church. We have to have the same attitude, the same praising of God. Because that is what's going to make the difference for other people to see our examples and to see that we're the same, whether we're in church or out of church. And people will see if you're a fake. They will know it, and you'll lose all credibility. May God be with you in everything and in every way.